Well, I just wanted to add one before we get too far away from it. I wanted to add one quick question to what CK had brought up and kind of sparked a conversation here about Frank Reich's need to win so many games next year. Like he can't come in and he doesn't have the opportunity to rebuild like we honestly told Matt Rhule he had or kind of gave Matt Rhule. Do we think that Frank Reich is coming into a better situation than Matt Rhule was?
Yes.
Because the way I kind of look at it, Matt Rhule had the quarterback in Cam, but not the supporting cast around him. Frank Reich has a good supporting cast around him with a team, but no quarterback.
Yeah.
So do we think Frank Reich's coming to a better
roster?
Definitely. He's definitely further along. The team is with.
I just mean is the team better?
Further along from
when
Matt Rhule became the coach to when Frank Reich became the head coach.
What position group?
Kim McQuan.
Name the. It can only be the offensive line.
No. Okay,
I think only the offensive line. I really think
Brady,
is
you're
that
wrong, and you're still wrong. No, you're
can't
wrong.
Name Brady Christensen again.
It's a Kim McQuanu. It's Brady Christensen. It's Bradley Bozeman.
Did I not use the words offensive line? It's the only thing better.
No, okay, our defense.
It's the only thing better on the team. You can't say the whole defense.
Yes, you can, Tony.
Yes, you can.
I think we had Rasul Douglas and Dante Jackson, and I would argue Rasul Douglas and Dante Jackson were just as good as CJ Henderson. I don't think we're head and shoulders. I think you guys are giving too much credit. I think the offensive line. Okay. So the secondary.
I'm glad this sparked this. Awesome.
The secondary. Okay. All right. Where else? Where else are we better?
Luke retired. They Rhule. I mean, now
we still have name a linebacker that we have that is any good.
We have the same Shaq Thompson, but we have Frankie Louvu. Did we have a player like Frankie Louvu when Rhule took over?
Didn't have a Frankie Louvu, not right away.
Did we have a Jeremy Chin when Rhule took over?
We had fucking Julius Peppers, bro. We had
Julius Peppers in the latter half.
Still probably had I bet you still had 9 sacks, motherfucker.
He did. You're right. He did.
So
you know what I'm saying? I bet you he got just as many sacks as Brian Burns did.
Rhule didn't have him though. You Rhule didn't have him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you this is I don't know how. Look, I think you guys are overinflating how good our roster is right
you're underinflating.
I don't think it has made a biggest step as you think.
It's an entirely
outside of
different
offensive line. Look, we had the same receivers, same fucking receivers. Got the same receiver. DJ Moore.
We have Terrace Marshall Jr. who's coming on.
Bro, he's got 4 passes. And I love him.
Hubbard's come on. Deontay Foreman, if he decides to come on.
Y'all are
towards the end of the year, Tony, Chuba did turn it on. If you look at how he played.
I expect Frank Reich to win +5 games with this roster. And you know what? If he would have inherited the 2019 roster, I would ask him. I would believe he should be able to win 5 games with that roster. I do not think. I think it's better, but I don't think it's head and shoulders. Look, we got Austin Corbett on an injury. We got Bradley Bozeman in a boot. We have Dante Jackson has not played any season.
It's still better than not him at all. It's better.
I believe this is same linebackers, same receivers, no quarterback. No, man, it's the fucking. It's not. It is
not
better.
The same. You're wrong.
It is not giantly better.
You are acting.
You guys are overlove this roster.
You need to go to time out, dude.
This is the one thing, and Frank Reich said this in his press conference today. He caught himself. He did not go in on that shit that Matt Rhule's been out there talking about. We had the number 2 defense. We had the number 2 defense. He said, they had a top defense. That's what he said.
We need to have a top 5 is what he said, right?
We didn't have a top. Look, I think if you go back and really dig into the stats of last season, we have no top 5 defense, even close.
No, he's not saying we did. He's saying we need to have a top 5, yeah.
I don't think even the defense in its best year was as fucking good as you guys said. No,
it's not.
But the defense last year was better than this year. Period.
Nobody's saying. Period.
Wow.
We still need more players. No one's saying that we don't have holes to fill on the defense.
I'm just saying there's more than you are admitting.
You're gonna compare what Greg asked.
You sound like a Browns fan.
The team that Matt Rhule inherited versus the team that Frank Reich is inheriting now.
It's like the difference between
you know what else?
Fucking brass ring and brass earrings.
Scott Fitterer agrees with me because today when he was talking about backs in his press conference,
oh crazy,
he was saying that we have built this team in a way where if we love a quarterback, we're in the position to go up and get them based on the strides that we've made on the offensive line, based on the weapons that we have with DJ Moore and Terrace Marshall Jr.
So
amount of players that we've acquired on defense. You're wrong. You're fucking wrong, dude. And everyone knows that you're wrong.
Look, Shane Falco's with me. You sound like a Browns fan.
All right. Let's
here's
do
why
this.
I mean this, CK. This is what the one thing I mean is that are there some pieces on our team? Sure. Can this team? Somebody said, "Oh, where's the hope, Tony?" I'm not saying there is no hope. But I would tell you this is I heard every Browns fan come in and say, our roster is so much better than people than it plays. Our roster is this. It's so good. And what I would say is this, is that there's not the depth and the stars on this team that you think. I think you think that your sister is prettier than she truly is. I think your mama is pretty. Like everybody who's going to say their mama is pretty.
Having depth has nothing to do with the conversation that we're having. Literally nothing.
It does.
No, literally
it does a little bit.
You can't even name the starters, let alone the backups.
You want to talk about us not having depth? That's fine. But to say that the starters on this team are not markedly better
on this team,
then what? No, but you can't dismiss the entire fucking offensive line. The entire fucking offensive line.
Tell me the star.
Oh, besides him,
I've already given you that. Tell me one other star.
Let me do this. Let me take this back a little bit to simplify this. To simplify this, let's create a poll and ask the chat. Do we think our roster right now is more talented than it was?
Significantly. It needs to be. Now, I'm not saying that it isn't. First of all, I've granted that the offensive line is better. I understand that. No, what I'm saying is you're acting like this. You're pulling up in your Honda Accord.
You're moving the goalpost.
And my Honda Civic, and I got a Honda Civic, and you're like, oh, you fucking peasant.
Dude. Yeah, you're kind of moving the goalpost a little.
No, I'm not. Go back and listen to the tape. I'm saying this.
I'll do what you want. I'll put significantly better. This Panthers team.
So who defines what's significant, though? Who defines what's significant is the only problem you have with that. You know, the question was, are they better?
Let's define it right now. Is that we are trying to compare the 2019 to 2020 roster, right? The inheritance of Matt Rhule versus the inheritance of Frank Reich. So if this team is so much better, right? What do you think the difference in wins that equates to? So, all right. So in 2020, Frank Reich comes in with this inferior roster that you're talking about. How many wins do you expect he could get with that roster? And then how many do you expect him to get this year? And if it's less than one game, then that team ain't better.
Or just weren't coached. I mean, there's a lot of factors.
No, he's the guy. Like if he took over this team in 2019, or he took over it today, is he in truly a significant? Like, is he 5 wins in 2020, but 9 wins this year? I don't think the roster. Tell me a position group outside the offensive line, and you know what? Fuck you with the offensive line. Get rid of that. Austin Corbett tore his ACL. Bradley Bozeman's in a boot. Taylor Moton, you guys shit on all season long. That doesn't mean they all of a sudden suck, you dimwit. No, that's
but
even
crazy.
Your best thing.
The entire offensive line is fucking bananas. In fact, it's one of the dumbest
I'm not dismissing it. I think you think your wife is prettier than she is.
No, so I'm telling you, you have beer goggles on. Is what I'm telling you.
Let me do this. All right. And I'll tell you, and let me do this, and I'll ask you to do this. Let me finish what I'm going to say, and then you tell me what you think. Our offensive line is significantly better than it was in 2019. Okay. our wide receiver, you can talk about DJ Moore.
He's not different.
DJ Moore was the only wide receiver on this roster that was good at all, even remotely good.
Same.
Okay.
We're still in that spot.
Now we have Terrace Marshall Jr. coming on and DJ Moore.
Man, I don't want to hear that. And I love DJ.
Hey, give me a minute. Let me get through it all. All right. So now we have our better linebackers. We have a better cornerbacks. We have a better defensive line than we had when Matt Rhule took over. We have better safeties.
How?
What do you mean how? We have Penn and we have Rhodes.
Xavier Woods, who didn't catch a single interception, who dropped every single thing. Jeremy Chin.
Oh, by the way,
all you bitch about him needing to be a linebacker.
What did we have before 2019 season?
Dante Foreman and Chuba Hubbard and Xavier Woods and J.C. Horn. Dude, you're losing this one, man. And the poll says you're losing right now.
Is that? I'm not saying it's not better, but I don't think it's like the difference between.
You're moving the goalposts so fucking much right now, dude.
Right, you know what? Let's go to call. I'm gonna look at. No, I'm not moving the goalposts.
You want to go to call?
I don't think you get what I'm saying. I think, you know what? Maybe actually, let me say this: is if you're, then I'm not being clear. I haven't been clear. And what I am arguing to you is this, is that the difference between the 2019 roster and the 2023 Carolina Panthers is the difference between a Honda Civic and a Honda Accord. And you know what? I would say you're right. You know what? Your car's a little nicer.
No,
but don't be driving around acting like you got a fucking Lexus or a Acura or something.
Oh, dude.
No, I mean, I think it's good, but I think you guys are the ones that are in with the over optimistic goggles here that are sitting here telling us, like the Browns fans, those stupid fucking Browns fans that told us that they had the best roster in the league, and these motherfuckers can't even.
Well, we're not saying we have the best roster in the league.
But you are acting like it's you know what? They acted like it was better than it truly was.
No, how about this? You're misinterpreting us. No. You're misinterpreting us. We're not saying that all of a sudden we're like the best roster in the NFC or no dumb shit like that. There's a bunch of holes that we still need to fill out on this team.
Okay.
But if you are comparing the teams that Matt did versus the team that Frank Reich is inheriting right now,
it's
and
much
can't
bigger.
See the tremendous depth of talent that we have added over the past 3 years, then you're being fucking crazy, man.
Here's the reason that's the case.
In the Super Bowl. Can't wait.
Here's the part. Here's why I think that's true. It's not that any position group is significantly better than another one outside of maybe the offensive line and the cornerbacks, right? But the problem is the real dagger to your argument is we have almost every one of our position groups are better than they were in 2019. Now, does that mean they're significantly better? No. But what it does mean is that when you compound all of the increases in value as far as what we have with our team, that is significant. When you have every position group is better than it was in 2019, that is a significant. When you're talking about the NFL, when this is a game of inches, as they say,
let me tell you this
major.
I need to do should I do the 2020 roster, because the 2019 roster was not Matt Rhule's.
Well, what was our record in 2019 then? Because I want to know what the record was.
We were 5. We were 5. Owen Perry was Perry Fuel was 0-4. Ron Rivera was 5-7. The 2019 roster was a little bit old, but you know what? There's a lot of motherfuckers on this team that y'all bitches loved back in the day that are still 2019 team. Let me tell you. Oh, 2019. I feel like we need to go to 2020 because I feel like, look, should we talk about the team that Matt Rhule coached? We're going to go into but here, this is here. Let me tell you some of the names here, Cody, on the 2019 under Ron Rivera. And you might be ready to jerk off. Curtis Samuel. Oh, you just blew your load.
He left that year.
Good player.
No, he's listed right here. 54 catches, 627 yards, 6 touchdowns. Cody last name. This 2019.
Yeah, he would have been so good if we had a franchise quarterback for him.
James Bradbury was on that team. Trey Boston was on that team. Shaq Thompson was on that team. Don Terry Poe was on that team.
Christian McCaffrey.
Matt Paradis was on that team. Taylor Moton. They were just old. But this team on that, I think we really need to compare the 2020 team. But you know what? Before we continue in this stupid argument that I created,
it's Greg's fault. Yeah. Greg is the fucking
fault. I really believe this. I think it's better.
Greg is the sower of chaos.
Well, and here's
I feel
my
like
thing.
it's us coming back from the prom and you over bragging about how hot your girlfriend was when my girl was pretty good looking.
Yeah, meanwhile, you're drunk off your ass. You have beer going.
I'm not. I'm fucking
you
totally
don't even
sober.
have a date to the prom and you're talking shit about everyone else's girlfriend, dude.
All right.
That's
Greg,
what you
this is going to be 2 versus 2
calls, Greg.
Oh,
Greg. Once you say your point,
sorry.
Then
I was just saying, I'm actually, Tony, after thinking about all this, I'm a little more on your side. Here's the difference: is I do think that we are better, but I'm like you. When you add the word significant, I think it takes it away. I don't think we're significantly better. He's inheriting a team that won 2 more games than the one that Rhule won the year before, and the team that he has now is a lot younger. I mean, there are a bunch of different factors going a lot of different ways. I think they're better. I don't think they're significantly better.
All right, here's my question.
And it's not. I'm not trying to be negative, guys. Like when you guys look, people in the chat are like, "Oh, no." What I'm saying, this is realism. Is that I think this team can be a lot better than it is with Frank Reich.
All right,
but I think that you guys got to be careful about going, "Oh, this team was good the whole time, and we just didn't have a good coach." We were.
How do we know?
Okay.
How do we know? How do we know? How do we know that that's not the case?
We're just okay because we don't have any stars.
That's not the case.
We don't have a single star.
Let's break this down to investing. Let's break this down to investing. Okay. Let's say you have 6 things you're investing in as far as like you have these different let's just say businesses. You have 6 businesses you're investing in. Okay. Let's say in 2020, Matt Rhule inherited a team that all 6 of those investments he was losing money on, right? He basically took on a losing situation. I'm not giving Matt Rhule much credit right here, but now where we're talking about with Frank Reich, now fast forward, those 6 businesses are now making him money.
No, they're not. That's over. You're overinflating those businesses. No, they've been 5. They haven't won more than 6 games.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Okay. Now it's not like you're making double your money, but you're making like a 10% return on investment, right? So you're making more money than you were making. You're not losing money. You're still making more money, right? So
we were under 500. You can't say we're making money.
The entire offensive line disproves your point. You are not giving enough credit to the offensive line. I don't give a damn about.
No, I know where CK was going this, but CK, the business didn't turn a profit.
Years,
it did turn a profit.
We have been yelling.
No, we didn't.
For years. The wall.
Where?
And
it may not turn a profit.
Where has it turned a profit?
But it's not leaking a little bit.
How many wins did we get in the last 12 games of the season?
6.
Okay. How many losses in the last 12 games of the season?
100. I don't know.
6.
We have not won more than 50% of our games in a single season.
6 and 6.
Every single has been losing. Right. I don't understand how the business is profiting.
Matt Rhule. It's funny how Steve Wilkes was able to get as many wins.
I understand your point.
More than Matt Rhule ever did. You're not putting enough importance on the offensive line. We were on this podcast for years.
Wow.
And
we're fucking mad. We were at 9-17, 9-18, man. Just ready to go to Super Bowl.
And now it doesn't matter. Now it just doesn't matter.
He's not saying it doesn't matter, Cody.
So much.
No, I'm trying to say
Greg,
and I don't want to make CK mad either. I feel like he's mad at me. CK's mad at me.
I want to be able to get my points across is my only thing. And so like when I bring that up it's not to say that we are winning right now, but what I am saying is right when you look at where our team was the last 12 games of the season last year, it was infinitely better than anything we've seen in the past 3 years. Okay. So why I say that is if you had the exact same, like everything worked. If let's say Steve Wilkes had the reins on this team from week 1, CMC was gone. Baker Mayfield was gone. Hold on. If you take all of that into account, right? That's where we are right now. That's where our roster is right now. Our roster, we would have been above 500. there are so many teams, so many games that we came this close to winning because of stupid stuff, because of whatever.
But it didn't happen.
But that was before Steve Wilkes took over. The most important part of this is you've got to look at where we ended the season.
Happened with him.
No,
it wasn't
did not.
No, did we almost? We could have won the Ravens game. We could have won the Falcons. We didn't almost. It wasn't like all of a sudden it was so much better. Yes, but it was not like it was without flaw.
We were competitive. Yes, it was. We were competitive.
He was without flaw.
In a way
we didn't beat the Bucs. We were at 14 points. We didn't beat the Steelers. They weren't as good as us.
We were never even competitive.
I appreciate. Look, I think CK's point. I want to just. All I want to do is what I'm trying to say, CK, is I understand your analogy about the businesses, but I think that the flaw in the analogy is that you're saying that Frank Reich took over a business that has turned a profit. And what I think he's taken over is a business that's just hemorrhaging less money. Then, you know what I'm saying, is like, yeah, they were hemorrhaging $20 million. And then, 2 years later, they're hemorrhaging $5 million. But guess what? They still ain't turned a fucking profit.
I would argue
and I don't
that
think in a single place we can say we don't have a quarterback. We're bottom 5 in everything. We're top. Like, where is this supposed success?
We're top 5 in special teams. Our defense was turning a corner. There's a lot of things to improve upon, but we had a lot of injuries. And the only thing on our offense that we're missing is maybe a tight end and in the quarterback. So we are breaking. So I'll even concede a part of that. I will say we're not making money, but we're not losing money right now either. So
you got some rose-colored glasses.
So what that means is we are a quarterback away from this team being the team, and that's why it's important. That's why it is easy to look at these rosters and say Frank Reich is going to be taking over a better situation than Matt Rhule had, and it's not even close.
And by the way, before we go on to the catcalls, because I'm so fucking done with this stupid ass conversation. Wait
till you see what I message you.
Is the team that Frank Reich is inheriting substantially better than the team Matt Rhule inherited? So far, 74% of people say yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So now, you're on the losing side of the argument.
I love it.
A lot of people voted for Biden too.
So. Man. I am tired.
No, man, you didn't come here for me to agree with y'all, did you?
No, I mean, whoever expects you to do that, you know?